Africa today, like the sun slowly rising into the light, light that will allow the continent to prosper and be free. 25 years ago, the African Capacity Building Foundation was born, a collaboration of thoughts and ideas from Africans, donors and 3 sponsoring agencies: the African Development Bank, the UNDP and the World Bank. ACBF, capacity building through policy analysis and development management driven from African soil.
There were quite a number of good people in the World Bank who said we have to help Africa to develop their own capacities in many areas. It simply is not possible that they rely on Europeans, on Americans, on Asians to advise them. Africans know themselves enough. And therefore we have to make sure that they translate this into real action. And it was that situation where we felt that a foundation which would be independent, which would have starting capital, which would allow the local governance of that institution to decide what they want to do, that this would be the right thing.
I think it's a very unique organization that was created to support Africa in its critical capacities. At the time it was created, the continent was facing structural adjustment problems. And the idea was to make sure that the countries have the capabilities to shape their own transformation strategies. So that's 25 years ago.
During that 25 years, the foundation has actually achieved a lot of things. It has really made a lot of tremendous impact on the continent across the countries, in the 45 African countries where it has operated, and at the regional level and at the continental level.
Thousands of jobs for middle managers have been created, skills that have enabled them to do economic analysis and policy implementation. 60 think tanks have been developed, including 20 of the top think tanks which are currently supported by ACBF. Strengthening parliaments in various countries, including developing their legislative mandates, oversight roles, and the ability to oversee the implementation of policies. Enabling institutions of higher learning to see how they can help educate Africa's youth to come up with African solutions to African challenges. Empowering women and their ability to generate an income and take their rightful place as an integral part of African economies through projects launched throughout the continent. And providing a platform for dialogue and engagement among stakeholders in the field of capacity development.
Working as a technical advisor at times, we need to settle certain policies and strategy to do it better. And that's why my hierarchy had decided to train me in that ACBF training scheme. And what I can say is that after the training, I think I was well armed to make some analysis and perform analysis and policies with that particular priority sector in Cameroon.
Since Kipra's inception, I would say we have made quite a contribution to the policy process in terms of developing national blueprints like the medium-term plans, the Vision 2030. We have actually participated in many policy areas in terms of supporting and informing the policy.
The university has expanded. We've got over 3,500 students. We have staff, about 100 staff. We have bought a hotel that we propose to make it a hotel and catering school. But right now we're concentrating on making it a conference center. We have moved, we've got an MDS, which is Masters in Development Studies, got an MBA, which is a Masters in Business Administration. We are pushing for a PhD.
Already one of the gratifying results of this program is that most of the ministries today have a program budget, thanks to the backing of ACBF. The second positive result is that there is a professionalization of civil society, which now fulfills its role of citizen control of public action. we are giving it the necessary tools. So, a civil society, which was seen before as society subjected to political parties, is beginning to play its role today. The third great satisfactory result for us are some of the mechanisms which we were able to put back on track. For example, the Economic Forecasting Directorate database.
ACBF funding has helped me to acquire the principal theoretical and technical skills in scientific discipline that has paved my way to understand economic policy management. I'm very grateful. And also the fact that I had a stress-free academic year. I was very happy. It gave me the possibility. I never had a computer by then. It helped me to acquire one. I did. I was able to install internet in my home. Like when I go back in the unit, I was able to do my research online. I'm very grateful to the program. It has made me to become a professional now.
A pinnacle of success, the ACBF's flagship publication, the Capacity Indicators Report. For the first time in the continent's history, accurate, up-to-date information is published on how to better plan, manage, implement, and account for results in policies and programs. Reflecting on 25 years, ACBF has also looked inwardly. How to transform itself, deepen its work, improve its success rate, and make it a more efficient, cost-effective organization, as well as ensure its sustainability going forward.
Having looked at our long-term strategy, we have now developed a plan, the strategy 2017-2021, which is our next 5-year strategic plan that will start from next year. This plan has taken into consideration all these elements and all these things that I've put into the table. And based upon that, we have come out with what we call our 4 pillars of intervention.
Enhancing capacity to achieve the continental direction of Vision 2030 and Agenda 2063. Strengthening the capacity of countries and governments to achieve this continental agenda. Directing and enhancing the non-state actors, the private sector and civil society. Capitalizing on knowledge and learning. The Foundation will continue with the allowance of grants, developing technical advisory services, and getting more involved in resource mobilization. Much has been achieved over the past 25 years, but what of now and the future?
The capacity needs are still significant, especially where new challenges are occurring. First of all, you have climate change, which everybody agrees is a major problem for the continent to achieve its development objectives. Secondly, you have all these low-intensity conflicts and terrorism and all kinds of instability happening on the continent. Thirdly, you still have a major problem of youth unemployment, which is, to me, one of the most significant and most dangerous things that the continent is facing at this point in time. And fourthly, you also have this migration issue, which although is affecting Africa's partners, but it's a significantly African problem, and we must tackle that in a significant way here. And fifthly, we also have the same issues that relate to gender inequality and problems related to income inequality and poverty that are still rampant on the continent, and Africa's transformation itself. From purely commodity exporting country to an industrialized country.
And while those challenges are still being faced, ACBF will continue building on what has worked well in the past and is looking forward to creating and driving more change.
We're excited that we have new modalities of doing business. We're a bit more focused on the key. This is more or less a demand, client-driven approach than we have done in the past, and to be able to make a real significant impact. And we have a resource framework that is quite well developed so that we measure at each point in time the extent to which we are achieving our objectives and the extent to which we can move a long way in achieving the vision of ACBF, which once again is an Africa capable of achieving its own development.